Hello friend, welcome to the channel. My name is Afrik-Ann. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to make this beautiful high neck dress with a front zip. I've also dropped a video on how I made the Zara cap to match this dress. I'll be dropping the link in the description box in case you missed it. I'll be using 2 yards of this Ankara fabric to make this dress. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'll just go ahead and fold into 2 first, and I'll fold into 2 again. So I'm folding this into 4 equal parts. Ankara is unfold into 4 equal parts with this close end facing me. So I'll just go ahead and start imputing my measurements. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mark out my shoulder measurement because this is a cut together shoulder. So just measure from your center back to across your arm to wherever you want your sleeve to end. Just as you can see on the diagram, that is how to measure. So I would like to leave mine at 15 inches. So from that 15 inches, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So I'll be marking my shoulder slope. I'm going to be connecting this for my shoulder slope. From this point, I'm going to come down by 10 inches. This is going to serve as my round arm. My normal round arm is actually 7 inches, but because this is a very free dress, I added extra, making it 10. So I came down by 10 inches, and from this point, this is where I'll be marking my bust point. From this 10 inches. So after marking out my bust point, the next thing, I'm going to be marking out my waist measurement. My waist is at 15 inches, but I'm going to go up by 2 inches. I'm going to be marking my waist measurement from 13 inches. So this is my waist point. Actually, my original waist point is at 15 inches, but because this is a free dress, I'm going to come up by 2 inches, making it 13 inches. So from this point, I'll go down and mark my hip measurement. My hip point is at 24 inches. So this is my 24 inches. And I'll go down and mark the length of my dress, my desired dress length. My dress length is 40 inches. But I'm going to be adding 2 inches for folding allowance. So after placing my vertical measurements, I'll go ahead and start placing my horizontal measurements. So this is my bust point. My bust measurement is 34 inches. 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 inches. I'm going to be adding 2 inches for ease allowance and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So in total, I have 11.5 inches here. So I'll come down to this point and mark 11.5 inches. So from this 11.5 inches, from this point, I'm going to be reducing this measurement at my waist area by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be reducing my bust measurement by 1.5 inches at my waist area. My hip divided by 4 is 9.5. So 9.5 plus 2 inches for sewing, for ease allowance, and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'm just going to connect these points together. And whatever thing I have on my hip measurement, I'm going to bring it down to my dress length. For my sleeve, I'm going to curve this a little. So I'm going to go back to my shoulder and I'll cut out my shoulder slope. So I'll go ahead and place my neck measurement. I'll be using 3 inches for the width. So this is for the back. And I'll be using 1.5 inches for the depth. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. At this point, I'm going to be separating my front and my back piece. So I'm just going to keep my back piece aside and work on the neck depth of my front piece. My front neck depth, I'm going to be using 7 inches for my neck depth at the front. I don't want this to be so low, so you can go ahead and use 8 or 9 inches depending on how low you want your neck depth to be. So from these 7 inches, I'm going to be marking 1 inch down. After marking my 1 inch down from my 7 inches, I'll go ahead to connect this point to this point, forming my V-neck. Go ahead and cut this out. After cutting my front piece, I'm going to pick my back piece. I'm going to place it on my front piece, right side facing right side. I'll take this to my sewing machine and join this at the shoulders. After joining the shoulders, I'll go over to the sleeve area. I'm going to be creating a turn up for my sleeve area. So I'm just going to pick one of these pieces that we cut out. Remember, this is one of the pieces that we cut out from our fabric while we're cutting. So I'm just going to measure this area. So what I have here is 19 inches. So after measuring my sleeve, I'm going to cut out a little piece for my turn up. So this is for my 2 sleeves. I'm going to take this to my ironing table. I'm going to bend this into 2. I'm going to fold into 2, and I'm going to iron. I'll do the same thing on this other piece. After I'm done ironing, I'm going to go back to my sleeve area, and I'm going to sew this on this by 1/2 inch. Remember, I'm sewing from the back because this is going to be a turn up. So I'm just going to sew this by 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to turn it up. After creating the turn up for my sleeve, you can go ahead and iron this with your hemming gum. You can see the turn up for my sleeve. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this back to my sewing machine. I'm going to be joining the 2 sides by 1 inch. At this point, I'll go ahead and join the sides of my dress by 1 inch. After joining the 2 sides of my dress, I'll go back to my dress length at my center front where I have this opening, the 2 openings. I'm going to be measuring from my dress length all the way to my neck and back to my dress length. So after measuring around, whatever thing you get, just go ahead and cut a very long piece according to what you got as your measurement. So this is my long piece after measuring, and the width of this is 5 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be fixing this just like we fix our shirt collar. I'm going to take this to my ironing table. I'm going to be folding this by 1/2 inch all the way with my iron, and I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I've prepared the collar for this dress. So after folding these 2 sides by 1/2 inch, I also went ahead to fold this into 2. I want to fix it just the way we fix our collar on our shirt. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my dress like this. I'm going to start fixing this from the inside. So I'm just going to open up this 1/2 inch. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and fix just one side first. After sewing this from the wrong side of my dress, so I'm just going to flip this over to the right side of my dress and I'm going to make a top stitch all the way. So I've gone ahead to attach my collar to my dress. You can see my finishing looking so good inside out. Who wouldn't love a finishing like this? So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be attaching my zipper to my dress. So this is my zipper. This is the zipper I'm going to be using for this dress. This is about 30 inches long. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the length of my dress. I'll be marking my slit length wherever I want my zip to end. I'll be marking 5 inches for my slit. From that 5 inches, I'm just going to fix my zip from here, and I'm going to be top stitching my zipper down to my neck area. Don't worry if your zipper gets beyond your neck depth, you can always adjust by opening your zip. So I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine. From the place where I marked my slit length, I'll be sewing my zip to my dress down to my neck depth. After fixing my zip, this is what I have, a very beautiful shirt. So you can decide to leave this open and wear it as a jacket, or you can decide to close this up. In fact, this is very good for breastfeeding mothers. So breastfeeding mothers, good news, you can also wear this trendy bubu while breastfeeding. So after fixing your zip, if you feel the neck depth is too high, just go ahead and open this up a bit. So just adjust, you can adjust your neck depth from your zipper. I'll go ahead and wear this on my mannequin so you can see how beautiful it's looking. This is all for this tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you and see you in my next video. Bye.